Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2 and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this afternoon. Now, we are going to go ahead and get into Lies My Teacher Told Me by James Lowen. We are currently in chapter number 3. This is going to be take number 7 of the chapter, The Truth About the First Thanksgiving. So without further ado, take 7, it reads as such. Bear in mind that the pilgrims numbered only about 35 of the 102 settlers aboard the Mayflower. The rest were ordinary folk seeking their fortunes in the new Virginia colony. Historian George Wilson has argued that the Pilgrim leaders, wanting to be far from Anglian control, never planned to settle in Virginia. They had debated the relative merits of Guyana in South America versus the Massachusetts coast. And according to Willison, Willison, they intended a hijacking. Certainly, the Pilgrims already knew quite a bit about what Massachusetts could offer them. From the fine fishing along Cape Cod to that wonderful plague, which offered an unusual opportunity for English settlement. According to some historians, Squanto, Wampanoag, I tried, y'all, from the village of Patuxet, Patuxet, Massachusetts, had provided Ferdinando Horgis, a leader of the Plymouth Company in England, with a detailed description of the area. Horgis may even have sent Squanto and Captain Thomas Dermer and advanced men to wait for the Pilgrims, although Dermer sailed away when the Pilgrims were delayed in England. In an event, the Pilgrims were familiar with the area's topography. The spelling is Topography. Wonder what that is. Do you know what that is? We about to find out. Let's see. Topography for the definition. Oops. Thank you for your patience while I'm looking this up. I'm going to let you know what this word means. Topography is the arrangement of the natural and artificial physical features of an area. A detailed description of representation on a map of the natural and artificial features of an area. The description of parts or features on the surface of or within an organ or organism. Okay, so that's the meaning of that word. Now, recently published maps, the Samuel de Champlain had drawn when he had toured the area in 1605, supplemented the information that had been passed on by 16th century explorers. John Smith had studied the region and named it New England in 1614. And he even offered to guide the Pilgrim leaders. They rejected his services as too expensive and carried his guidebook along instead. These considerations prompt me to believe that the Pilgrim leaders probably ended up in Massachusetts on purpose. But evidence for any conclusion is soft. Some historians believe Horgis took credit for landing in Massachusetts after the fact. Indeed, the Mayflower may have no specific destination. Readers might be fascinated in textbook authors presented two or more of the various possibilities, but as usual, exposing students to historical controversy is taboo. Each textbook picks just one reason and presents it as fact. Only one of all textbooks I surveyed adheres to the hijacking possibility. The New England landing came as a rude surprise for the bedraggled and tired non-pilgrim. Majority on board the Mayflower, says Land of Promise. They had joined the expedition seeking economic opportunity in the Virginia tobacco plantations. Obviously, these passengers were not happy at having been taken elsewhere, especially to a shore with no prior English settlement to join. Rumors of mutiny spread quickly. Promise then ties the unrest to the Mayflower Compact, giving its readers a fresh interpretation of why the colonists adopted the agreement and why it was so democratic. To avoid rebellion, the Pilgrims' leaders made a remarkable concession to their other colonists. They issued a call for every male on board, regardless of religion or economic status, to join the creation of a civil body politic. The compact achieved its purpose. The majority acquiesced. Acquiesced? I don't know if I said that correctly. I'm going to spell it for you. It's ACQUIESCED. Okay? And right here I have a picture for you that I'm going to show you, which is right there. And I'm going to read what is at the bottom of this picture. It says, among the Pilgrims' sources of information about New England were probably the maps of Samuel D. Champlain, including a chart of Patuxet, Patuxet, Plymouth, when it was still an Indian village before the plague of 1617. Now back to our text. The navigation error. Story lacks plausibility. The one parameter of ocean travel that sailors could and did measure accurately in that era was latitude distance, north or south from the equator. The storm's excuse is perhaps still less plausible. For if a storm blew them off course when the weather cleared, they could have turned southward again, sailing out to sea to bypass any shoals. They had plenty of food and beer, after all. But storms and pilot error leave the Pilgrims pure of heart, which may explain why most textbooks choose one of the two. Regardless of motive, the Mayflower Compact provided a democratic basis for the Plymouth colony, since the framers of our Constitution, in fact, paid the compact little heed. However, it hardly deserves the attention textbook authors lavish on it. But textbook authors clearly want to package the Pilgrims as a pious and moral blend who laid the antecedents of our democratic traditions. Nowhere is this motive more embarrassingly obvious than in John Garrity's American History. So far as any record shows, this was the first time in human history that a group of people consciously created a government where none had existed before. Here, Garrity paraphrases a Forefathers' Day speech delivered in Plymouth in 1802, in which John Adams celebrated the only instance in human history of that positive, original social compact. George Willison has dryly noted that Adams was blinking several salient facts, above all the circumstances that prompted the compact, which was plainly an instrument of minority rule. Of course, and Garrity paraphrase, also exposed his ignorance of the Republic of Iceland, the Iroquois Confederacy. Now for the Iroquois, don't know if I said that correctly, Iroquois, and countless others, polities antedating 1620. Such an account simply invites students to become ethnocentric. And I'm going to spell the last word. ENTHNOCENTRIC. So ethnocentric for the last word. I do thank you for your time of listening to this take number 7 on Poem Praise 2. Stay tuned for take number 8. Certainly would like for you to hit the like button, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You'll know when I'm coming with something new to you from Poem Praise 2. But I do want for you to be well, to take care, to be blessed, and it be at thy will. I'll talk with you soon. From me to you, signing out, Poem Praise 2. Till next time. Later, y'all.